Hey, so I'm going to attempt to show you guys how I imitate the Splatoon 2 art style. Note that I'm going to be looking not at this. This is the Splatoon 1 art style. I think mostly the difference is how it's shaded and maybe different brush texture. I was looking at Splatoon 2, which is actually a lot easier to do, at least for me. This obviously is one that I did earlier of my own inkling. There's two important things that you need to get right if you want to make this shit look authentic. One is the roughness of the brush. You can actually use any brush for this, but I'm using this beautiful square brush, which I will link to. And the other is getting the proportions of the inkling right, especially the face. I have two test images where I failed both of these things. One is this Callie drawing where you can see that her facial anatomy is completely wrong. Like, there is nothing correct here at all. And this Marina drawing, which is much more correct proportion-wise, but there's not enough texture to it. She's too smooth, all that stuff. So this is the shitty little sketch that I prepared earlier that I'm going to be demonstrating on. This is one of the Splatoon 2 official arts. I like this one because it has a bunch of different inkling hair colors and skin colors here. I am going to start with taking the skin color of this fellow and just using this brush, my beautiful rough square brush with no pen pressure. That's an important one. It is just completely exactly the same the whole way. I always start with the head, just drawing a face. You'll notice with this Splatoon 2 art style, there's a lot of angles. Everything's very angular, as well as, you know, rough and stuff like that. And if you use a circle brush for this sort of shit, it's harder to get the angles. You'll know what I mean if you use it. Then I'm going to take the hair. I'm using this purple color over here. The basis of the Splatoon art style is just ordinary lined art stuff. Or lineless art stuff, rather. If you have a background already in doing lineless art, then you've already won half the battle. Then we're gonna take for the underside of her tentacles and yep, you can see that I just do not give a single fuck. So this is important. Taking this lineless mass that you have here, I should actually merge those. This is where you just start going hog wild with the colors and the opacity and everything. You can see here on this section the different colors that are in her tentacles to show how it's a stylized way of showing the reflectiveness of it, like how it's wet and it's reflecting light. So I'm going to take the end bit here, right? I'm going to make the brush density way down. I don't know how you do that on Photoshop, but that's how I do it for Clip Studio Paint. And opacity way down and just... And you do that for all the colors, just... Yep. Just place them on the tentacles. This is gonna look like garbage. Yep, good enough. Then you gotta do the spots, obviously. You're basically just copying what is done here, except applying it to a different sketch. You'll notice now, as I move to the skin, I don't shade the skin. There's no shadows or highlights in the skin, really. It's just, except a little bit on the nose if you want to. Drop tool again from this dude. I never actually noticed this before I drew this image, but their eyes aren't like human eyes at all. It's just all color, and I think their mouths as well have the whatever color that their ink is. So I did something different there, but for this I'm just gonna do directly as that guy's eyes are. Just looking to the side, because that's what I do when I'm lazy and I can't be fucked. It doesn't even really matter if you're exact to it. Like, as long as it's colorful and rough, a lot of people aren't really going to be able to tell the difference. I'm going to get some of the stuff on the tip of their ears now. The little shade there. For this dude, it's that color. And the way that you shade these is exactly the same as you're shading the hair. You're going low density brush in, putting it in on opaque first, and then going in right at the very tips with the, you can even get like, sometimes you can get, for a good texture, a really big version of this brush, and you can see that you get the texture of the triangle. I actually did it before and they didn't explain what I was doing, so you know, good job me. I'll do a quick mouth here as well. The beauty of Splatoon mouths is that it's literally just a line. I gotta fix the head here a little bit because the proportions aren't correct or whatever. I don't know. I don't actually know what I'm talking about anymore. Inklings don't really show their necks a lot, but normally I try to go for whatever we've used for the shade color and get a little bit in there, you know, with the slightly less opacity. Oh, density, fuck. Yeah, it's messy, but you've got a neck now. I think what I did to get the color of this is I took a reference image from directly in the game of, this is the Forge jacket, I think. And I went from this image, actually, I think I went to this color right there, and I just adjusted it. I made it like darker, and then just tried to match it with the in-game image. So what we're using here as a reference is a mix of just copying from the official art and comparing that with the in-game stuff. Yeah, that's it. This is rough, but that's basically it. The way that I do the Splatoon art style is right there. You just saw me do it. Rules to remember: rough brushes, texture, and color. Like, you just do not give a shit. Keep it wild and bright. Don't worry about shading, especially. Like, you can see there's barely any sort of like shading or coloring, like dark or light on that. It's just color. So yeah, it's actually really simple doing it. It's just about using a rough brush, coloring, ignoring shadows and light, and just using color instead to give it you know, this sense of dimension and all the little bits and bobs and all. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hopefully at least watching me do it has helped some of you. If not, then I can try and sit down and write a little tutorial with words and maybe pictures, but yeah, I'll only do that if I can be fucked. So yeah, have fun trying to do this yourself. If you have any questions, shoot me and ask, or at me on Twitter or some shit. I don't know. Have a nice day.